Hi guys, welcome back to Geeks 40k channel and our latest 3000 point Horus Heresy battle report. Today, fresh from the massacre of Isstvan V, the Iron Hands have been chased down by a combined force of Emperor's Children and the Death Guard. Will they be able to survive the onslaught of the Traitor legions and restore a little bit of pride to the legion? So today's mission, we are doing Shatter Strike. Basically, you just got to get into the opponent's deployment zone. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a bloody affair. There's a lot of pride at stake for the Iron Hands. So today, Robin is teaming up with Matt from Greetings from the Warp. Well worth go checking those guys out on Facebook if you haven't done so already. And we have Ed and his Death Guard back on the channel, and he's been teamed up with Tom and his Emperor's Children.
So here's Matt's Iron Hands force for today. His force is led by a Praetor on a bike. He has a Paragon Blade. He has a Power Fist, Iron Halo, pretty much everything. He's completely pimped out with digital lasers as well. First Troops is just a 10-man tactical squad. The Sergeant has melter bombs. Second squad, exactly the same loadout. And then we have two Rhinos. They do actually have multi-melter and hunter-killer missiles on them as well, so they're quite an expensive Rhino, but Matt wants to see how that works today. Then we have an elite choice, which is an apothecary on a bike. And then we have a bike squad. The lightning claws are actually just power weapons. There's a flamer in that squad as well. Then we have two land speeders with dual heavy bolters. A fire raptor with the autocannons. Scorpius whirlwind. And then we have a Sakaran venerator. And everything here is WYSIWYG. So Matt is my ally for today. So moving across to my force, I have a Delegastus in Terminator armor with lightning claws. He's with a squad of Cataphracti Terminators. There's a flamer in there. There's 3 chain fists. My troops, I have a veteran squad. Power fist on the sergeant. He's got artificer armor and melter gun, and they're in a Rhino with no upgrades. Have an elite choice, which is 2 quad mortars, and they have the Sunder shells, the shatter shots. Another elite is Contemptor Mortis, 2 Keris pattern assault cannons. Heavy support squad just with missile launchers. No upgrades on those other than the missiles. And then at the back I have my Leviathan Dreadnought. He's pretty pimped out. He's got armoured ceramite. He's got the flamethrowers. He's got the power drill. And he has the grav flux. And then a Predator Executioner that has Power of the Machine Spirit on that one as well. So that's the Iron Hands. That's 3,000 points in total.
HQ for the Death Guard today, we have a Praetor equipped in Cataphracti Terminator armour, and he will be accompanied by the Death Shroud Terminators. These things are lovely, and they will be riding around in their Spartan. Over to troops, we have a 10-man tactical squad, and they will be inside of their Rhino, and they will be supported by a 5-man veteran tactical squad, again in a Rhino. And new for Ed today, we have the Leviathan Dreadnought. This guy is equipped with the melter cannon and the siege drill, and is equipped with the Phosphex launcher. HQ and Warlord for the Traitors today, we have Eidolon. He comes as stock today. Second HQ choice, we have a Chaplain. This guy is equipped with a power weapon, melter bombs, the refractor field, and also the sonic shriek. Emperor's Children today are running the 3rd Company Rite of War. That means that the Cacophony Marines become troop choices. The guy with the white helmet here at the front is equipped with artificer armor, and there are 2 squads of these. Now I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys actually do. When I have faced them in the past, they haven't done a lot apart from kill themselves. In fast attack, we have a land speeder squadron. These three are all equipped with multi-melters and grav as well. So these guys will be zooming around the battlefield, laying down lots of nice fire. Elites for the Emperor's Children, we have the Palaton Blades. These guys are equipped with Charnable Savers, all apart from the Prefector. He is equipped with Artificer Armour, Phoenix Spear and Melter Bombs. All of these guys have Sonic Shriekers, and they will be in the beautiful Land Raider for the Emperor's Children. So that is 3,000 points of Traitor Marines, the Emperor's Children and the Death Guard today, joining forces, hoping to wipe out the Iron Hands. The Iron Hand speeders are deployed on the left-hand side of the battlefield in some of the ruins of the buildings, waiting to zoom across the battlefield, heading towards the enemy's deployment zone. They are supported by a Contemptor Dreadnought with the Keras Assault Cannons and the Scorpius Whirlwind, looking at laying its shells down across any open plains that it can see. They also have covering fire from the Legion Heavy Support Squad, all equipped with their missile launchers. And next to them, we have, right in the centre of the battlefield, we have a big blob of the Iron Hands. We have the bikes ready to zoom up the field with the Leviathan Dreadnought in tow, laying down lots of beautiful covering fire. The Cataphracti Terminators and the Delegastus are ready to move up the board as well. But covering them as they advance is the Thud Guns. These guys are nice and primed on top of one of their ruins, looking out at the open battlefield as well. Next to these guys on the right hand side of the flank, we have the last of the Iron Hands. We have a Predator, we have a Rhino. In the Rhino there is a squad of veterans, but then we also have the big firepower of the Venator. Landspeeder Squadron for the Emperor's Children is ready and primed at the back of the battlefield, ready to zoom across. They will be supported by the Cacophony Marines, holding down the left-hand side of the battlefield. And then next to these guys, towards the centre, we have the Land Raider with Eidolon in, ready to jump out and make trouble for the Iron Hands as they both advance towards each other's lines. Next to these guys, we have the Death Guard. We have the two Rhinos. We also have the Leviathan Dreadnoughts, looking at destroying and popping open as many vehicles as it can. And then the final Emperor's Children Cacophony Squad are nice and set up in the building, looking out across the battlefield at the Iron Hands as they approach. But these guys are going to be supported by the heavy armour of the Spartan. So it is Iron Hands to go first, but Tom is going to try and steal the initiative for me. Go on, Tom, roll me that dice. It's a 2. The Land Speeders and the Contemptor Dreadnought have started their movement across the battlefield, and they are being joined by the bikes on the other side of this ruin. They've got nice bits of cover. The Leviathan Dreadnought still out of range with his Grav Flux, but the Terminators and the Delegastus are walking up behind them. They're looking at the Emperor's Children's lines. The Rhino, with the veterans in, has powered up and across the battlefield. He's heading up towards the Emperor's Children. Will he be able to survive any fire coming his way? The Venator has also moved up and around. It's not gone its full distance. This is a fast vehicle, but it's still using the cover of this battlefield quite nicely. The full weight of the Iron Hands have opened up on the Traitor Legions. The first of the Cacophony Marines have taken casualties and are running backwards. They have failed their morale check. They have taken a lot of punishment, but so have the Death Guard. Death Guard have lost one of their Rhinos. The veteran squad have obviously gotten out, but we have our first casualty. But there is no first blood in this game, so it doesn't matter. The Leviathan Dreadnought has been taken down 2 hull points. I think pretty much most of the Iron Hands army opened up at Leviathan Dreadnought trying to get rid of it, but it is still there. It is still strong. Land Raider has been ignored. Down here, the other Cacophony Marines have taken 4 casualties as well, so they are down in numbers. The Iron Hands have advanced and they have hit hard. The the surviving Cacophony Marines have jumped across the ruins and are now out and about. They're looking at shooting at the Rhino, but they also have the land speeders here ready to open up with their Grav or their Melter. I think this Rhino possibly may be going goodbye. The Land Raider has completely moved up the board. It is also dropped off its cargo. Couple of options what to charge into. Possibility of them going into the bikes, but that is a long old charge with some scenery to get across. The Leviathan Dreadnought has also moved around. I think these two Leviathans are eyeing each other up for a bit of a slobber knocker. We also have the Death Guard Rhino that normally likes to travel everywhere in reverse, actually going forwards for a change, and is heading between the ruins of the old cathedral, ready to head up and support the Emperor's children. The veterans have moved around from their wrecked Rhino just a little bit. And then finally the Spartan has moved up, training its guns at the Contemptor or the bikes. On a final note, the Cacophony Marines that were down here have failed their morale check for a second time and have now disappeared off the board. It was nice of them to turn up for 30 seconds of the battle. The Death Guard Spartan opened up at the Contemptor Dreadnought, taking off 2 hull points and immobilising it. The Land Raider, with one of its sponsons, opened up at the Venator down here, destroying the main cannon and taking off a hull point. It is now not as much of a threat. The Cacophony Marines down here opened up at the Rhino, taking off a hull point and immobilising it as well. So that has stopped it in its tracks just in front of the Emperor's Children deployment zone. The big thing that happened this turn was the other sponsor from the Land Raider opened up at the Iron Hands Leviathan Dreadnought, blowing it sky high. The bikes for the Iron Hands were unaffected, but one of the Cataphractii Terminators was pulled down in the explosion. But the Emperor's Children also lost 2 guys. These guys are going to try and get into assault. Eidolon is going to try and take his guys with him as they go into combat. Eidolon and the Palatine Blades have made it into combat with the Iron Hands bikes, killing off, I think, was it 3?
3 bikes.
3 bikes. 2 wounds on the Praetor, but Eidolon has gone. He was pulled down. The Praetor on the bike, whipping around with his power fist and thumping Eidolon clean in the face. 3 of the supporting blades have fallen down as well, so this combat will go on, but we have Slay the Warlord for the Iron Hands. The land speeders have now started their move up the battlefield. We've got both of them moving up. One of them is in the middle of the ruined Administratum building. The other one is just hanging around with the Contemptor Dreadnought. The Cataphractii Terminators are making their way up to join into the combat. And as you've seen, the Fire Raptor is on and looking at dominating the sky. Predator has moved around trying to improve its arcs of fire, because obviously this tank without the main gun is not as potent as it was. The Veteran Tactical Squad have gotten out of their immobilised Rhino, and the Iron Hands outflanking reserves have come on. We have 2 more squads. 1 has gone out of their Rhino, 1 squad has stayed in. They're looking at dominating this side of the battlefield. The Contemptor Dreadnought opened up at the Spartan tank, doing 1 hit, but there was no damage caused to it at all. These guys down here have all escaped any kind of punishment. What has not escaped punishment is the Emperor's Children. You can really tell that the Iron Hands are out for revenge for Isstvan and for Manus. The Land Raider has gone, taken out by the mortars at the top of the building. Some brilliant shots with the shells taking this out down here. The Rhino at the back of the board, the Death Guard, has lost a hull point. But again, the speeders for the Emperor's Children have now all gone. And we've only got a couple of the Cacophony Marines left, only 3. There's a lot of firepower from the Iron Hands around them at the moment. These guys are now pushing into the Emperor's Children deployment zone, looking at gaining the victory points. The Emperor's Children have made a brave last stand in combat against the Iron Hands, but the power of the bikes and the Cataphractii Terminators were just far too much, and they have fallen in combat. The revenge for Isstvan V is ongoing. There is not much left on the board for the Emperor's Children. What can the Death Guard do to secure victory for the Traitors? The Spartan has moved up. It is now eyeing up free road up into the Loyalist deployment zone. Leviathan has also moved up. These guys have now really got to step up and get into the Iron Hands because there is not much left on the board for the Emperor's Children. The Rhinos also moved across a little bit. The Veteran Squad are having a conga line dance maybe. And the 3 Cacophony Marines are going to shoot the Iron Hands how much damage these 3 guys can do when they are facing a full squad of tactical Marines is going to be interesting. But if they go out, they're going to go out on a blaze of glory. They are going to shoot these guys in the face. The Spartan has opened up at the Contemptor Dreadnought, bouncing, no damage done whatsoever. Down here, the Leviathan Dreadnought made it into combat with the Cataphractii Terminators, killing off 1 for no wounds done back. And the brave Emperor's Children down here, they opened up with their sonic blasters, but no damage done whatsoever. They went into combat losing 1 to Overwatch, and then it was kind of a bit of a stalemate. There was... yeah, they've just locked in combat, and they've now tied up this squad of tactical Marines. It is pretty much all on the shoulders of the Death Guard. It's a good thing it's not resting on the shoulders of Ferrus Manus, because he has got quite a weak neck, that Primarch. The Landspeed has moved up into the Traitor Legion deployment zone, securing a victory point. They are going to have to see off whatever the Death Guard decide to do with the Death Shroud Terminators and the Veteran Squad that are here. The Fire Raptor has moved up into the deployment zone, looking at laying down fire before it disappears off the board. The Veteran Squad have ran. They are now heading up into the deployment zone, and the 2 Iron Hands Rhinos have also moved up. This one has moved flat out. This one looking at a cheeky melter shot at the other Rhino. The multi-melter from on the Rhino opened up at the Death Guard Rhino, blowing it up sky high. The guys inside piled out. Unfortunately, they walked straight into the shells of the Fire Raptor and the Thud guns right down here at the back of the battlefield, basically killing most of them all off. There is only the 1 guy left now. The Spartan has taken 2 hull points from the Predator and from the Venator. The plasma from the Predator opened up, killing off the Veteran Squad down here. All 5 of them died. So it's going to be over to combat. We have a couple to resolve. We have Leviathan Dreadnought. We have the 2 remaining Emperor's Children. Leviathan Dreadnought has gone. It was ripped down by the chain fists of the Terminators. It is all gone. However, it did take out the Iron Hands Warlord and the 1 remaining bike before its inevitable death. So that is Slay the Warlord for the Traitors. The 2 remaining Emperor's Children are still locked in combat. They managed to survive around here. There was no damage done either side, so it continues on for another turn. The Death Shroud Terminators have gotten out of the Spartan, which has moved up the road. They have gone into combat with the Contemptor Dreadnought. They slapped a melter bomb clean onto its armour, blowing it up. But then Robin rolled a 6 on the invuln save, so it is perfectly fine. The Praetor that was with the Death Shroud Terminators broke off. His plan was to go up into combat with the heavy squad up here. Unfortunately, he did not make it. The Cacophony Marines that was in combat with the Iron Hands Tactical Squad, 1 was pulled down by the Iron Hands. The other one failed his morale check but managed to escape. He is now running free and clear, looking at getting off the board and into safety. The Cacophony Marine has been killed by the melter gun from inside of the Rhino. He was basically just melted on the spot. The Tactical Squad have moved up into the Traitor deployment zone, securing them a victory point. This squad have also moved in fully now, securing them a victory point. The Fire Raptor has moved and swung around, looking at its arcs of fire across the battlefield. And the Land Speeder has also moved around into the enemy's deployment zone. We also have one just outside. The one remaining tactical Death Guard Marine has been pulled down by the land speeder that you can see just coming round the corner of the building, opened up, killing him clean off. So that is pretty much the Death Guard and Emperor's Children lines now deserted. The Death Guard Praetor has been pulled down. He basically was opened up at by pretty much everything on this side of the battlefield for the Iron Hand. So the Thud Guns and the Predator all opened up, killing him off. So all we have left for the Death Guard is the Spartan and the Death Shroud Terminators as we head into Iron Hand's combat. The Death Shroud Terminators have finally destroyed their target. The Contemptor Dreadnought has gone. Took them a little while, but they finally got there. The Death Shroud Terminators have moved up into the Iron Hands deployment zone, scoring them an objective point. So at the end of the game, it is a win for the Iron Hands. They have one veteran tactical squad in the deployment zone. They have 2 tactical squads in the deployment zone, so that is 4 victory points. This squad that is still inside of the Rhino does not score because you don't score inside of a vehicle, so they've got 4 victory points. They also get Slay the Warlord, and they also get attrition just because of the amount of Emperor's Children that died. Tom. And then the Death Guard gets Slay the Warlord, but they also get 2 victory points for the Death Shroud Terminators that are in the deployment zone. So that is 6-3 to the Iron Hands. They have definitely got some revenge for Isstvan V and the death of their Primarch. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Please leave us a like. It does help out the channel. Please leave us a comment. It'd be great to hear your feedback. And we will see you guys on the next one.